Diana from Adirondack Girl at Heart. I hope you're having a great day. I teach antique lovers how to make money selling vintage and antiques. And one of the ways I do that is by creating these videos where I share my recent vintage finds. I talk about how much I paid for them and what I think they're worth. I have today's finds broken into some different categories, some china, some glassware, some farmhouse style, some miscellaneous, and I'm gonna go through things kind of in that order. I hope you enjoy them. So how about we'll start with china. Here's a Quimper. That's a French style of pottery with hand-painted decoration, often with figures like this one right here, and usually signed on the back, Quimper. I'm bad with pronunciation, so I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I am planning on doing an article for my blog about it. I've been picking up pieces here and there. I don't actually know a lot about it yet, but I would hope this would bring $10 to $15 from my antique booth. I picked up this little cup and saucer. It cost $0.25, so I really couldn't leave it behind, even though I recommend doing that. We don't need to rescue every single vintage and antique, but this was so pretty. It's Queen Anne pattern bone china from England. There's the mark. Bone china. And I thought I would try that on Etsy because I've been selling some prettier little things there. And I would hope to get $15 to $18 to $20. I'll have to research that a little bit. This is one of my favorite finds. It is not in good shape. It has a lot of chips. But this is an older piece of majolica. And I'm guessing Italian or English. It has English, so, well, I don't know what language. Has some initials on the back that I haven't quite deciphered yet, but look at that beautiful bold green and the brown. It cost $2, and not sure in this condition what it's worth, but I'm planning an article on majolica soon, very soon. And here's a restaurant ware plate, not quite large enough to be a dinner plate. It was 50 cents at a flea market. It's sterling china, which is a New York restaurant ware producing company. I love restaurant ware. It's super sturdy, usually quite glossy, and sometimes has nice decoration like this piece. And I have a course actually coming up on ironstone where I will be talking about restaurant ware, because sometimes people confuse the two, and they kind of like the ancestry of restaurant ware goes back to ironstone. So I think that's really interesting. Even though this is a newer basket, I thought it had a really great look. It cost $0.25. I went to a garage sale. Everything was a dime or $0.25. Crazy, right? And I think it will sell for about $15 from my antique booth. And here's a simple box, like a tool box. It's divided on the inside. I think with some wax, it will really bring out the wood a little bit, and I'm thinking about changing the handle, putting something more rustic on there. It was $3. And I think it will be worth about $25 once I've worked on it a little bit. And speaking of tools, I have a couple. This was $1. It's is it an ADZ? I'm not sure, but really nice wooden handles. I think this will clean up nicely and sell for $15 to $20. And here's like a masonry spade, I think that is. Also nice wooden handle, cleaned up. That will be about $10. And then a like a drywall smoother, something like that. I'm sure it has a much more official name. Wouldn't that be cool as a hook, like a coat hook? That was 50 cents also. And I will clean it up. Nice wooden handle, $10. 2 pieces of brass, a candlestick. So brass is very much in right now in decorating, and that doesn't always translate to the antique booth, but sometimes it does. This was 50 cents. I will put $12 on it. And I think, yes, I got a candle from a different sale that fits in there. This is an electric candle, battery operated candle, and a brass letter opener, which I think will sell for about $15. It's got some grapes on there. That was 50 cents. I only have one book and it's a miniature one. It's called Daily Food. It's filled with scriptures for the year. It was 50 cents. Really neat signature in there, worth about $10 to $12. Couple of plastic items, a celluloid comb. I have an article planned on celluloid, and I just thought that was really, really nice looking. Cost $2. This would be worth about 12 to 15. I think that would sell well on Etsy. And I'm kind of a sucker for these toothpick holders. This is a cigarette dispenser. I've had toothpick dispensers. It's not pretty, but I love the idea of them. It cost 50 cents. It's called Press Quick. And the cigarettes go inside, and then you press the lever and they come out over there. I have no idea what it's worth. I thought I would check out on eBay, maybe $10, $15, $20, something like that. Okay, let's take a look at some glass. I picked up a box of depression glass at a garage sale for $3. Yeah, it doesn't sell well for me. It's not really farmhouse style for my antique booth, but I am hoping to sell it somewhere. I haven't decided yet. So there's a pink little serving dish. I'm gonna say that each piece is worth $8 to $10 to $12. I need to do some research because I don't sell it typically, so I don't know a lot about it, but for $3 I thought, wow, what a great way to learn. And there should be a blog article coming up soon. A couple of yellow pieces with a pretty pattern, and then 2 amber plates. I feel like this is newer than some of the other pieces. 2 of those, and then 1 of these. This is like a very, very pale green. 2 larger plates in a swirl pattern, and 2 cups with a grape design on them. Oh, that's a cherry. So this is a fruit theme, cherry, and 2 pears, and then the grapes are on the other side. Yeah, so really interesting. I picked this up at Antique Show Flea Market for $4. I think it's probably Blanco glass is what I'm thinking, West Virginia. It has a partially smoothed pontil mark on the bottom, demonstrating that it's a hand-blown piece, probably into a mold, but with a hand-applied handle right there. I really liked that. I liked the texture, I liked the color and the shape. I paid $4. I'm hoping it's worth $20. Love that color. Did I say that? That pink. Pink is my favorite. Okay, so only 1 paper item. These were also from a flea market. I don't know if these are reproduction or new old stock. They're paper pressed, kind of like a Dresden, but Dresden would be usually three-dimensional. These are gold angels made out of pressed cardboard. That was 50 cents for, it looks like about 10 of them. And at Christmas, I think these will do very well, possibly on eBay or Etsy. And if you've been following me, you may have read an article I have on my blog all about presentation boxes. Jewelry presentation boxes sell extremely well on Etsy. Velvet presentation boxes, cardboard, leather, plastic, all of them. And I picked up this Trifari. Those that are branded tend to sell for slightly higher prices. I have a lot of Trifari costume jewelry, so I may sell it as a set with a piece of jewelry, or I may sell it separately. It's not perfect. See, it's got some indentations, and yes, that will lower the price, but it will still sell in the $18 to $22 range. So now what we have left is Farmhouse. Farmhouse is my favorite, and it's what I sell from my antique booth. So because it's right in front of me, I'm going to start with my favorite find. This was from the Greenwich Antique Show and Flea Market, which is about an hour away from us, and they do that, I believe, 3 times a year. So we hit the May show, and this covered serving dish it was priced at $15, but she gave it to me for $10. It's got really nicely formed handles on the top and on the side, and it is not perfect. It has a little crazed line right there. You see that right there? That didn't bother me too much, but that's why I didn't want to pay $15 for it. It's by Burgess Pottery in Staffordshire, England. I would date this to the late 1800s, and I'm hoping to get $55 to $60. I will bring this to my antique booth. I sell nicer, larger pieces for good money from my antique booth. Smaller pieces and newer pieces I sell like crazy on Etsy. I highly recommend trying Etsy. With your smaller and perhaps less valuable pieces, you will get a much higher value for them on Etsy than from an antique booth. And I picked up this Alfred Meekin platter, and I'm going to tell you a very sad story. I tried to carry too many things away from this garage sale, and I dropped it. Little chip there. Without the chip, I would say about $20. It's not oval, it's a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit more desirable, I think, than some of the larger platters are. With that chip, that's going to reduce the value. And there's the Meekin mark, late 1800s on this piece as well. And a couple of other little pieces of ironstone that are very exciting. I haven't deciphered, this is an impressed mark. I haven't deciphered it yet. It's got a little embossed decoration. It looks like a bird. I don't know if you can see that. I think this is part of a child's tea set, as well as this cup and saucer, which are so cute. That was $1, and this was $1.50. This really sweet little cup and saucer. I have a child set that I think this may match. I have to track it down, but on its own, I would price that at about $12. And $10 on the little bowl. This is a restaurant ware creamer. They sell for about $10. I paid 50 cents for that. It's in really good shape. it might go into my ironstone cupboard, I'm not sure. And here's another picture, really odd little shaped restaurant ware also. Cost 50 cents. They were both 50 cents each, and this one may be a little bit less, maybe more like $8. These are really, really cool. These are, I'm calling them salts. I have 4 of them in this brown pottery. Reminds me of Hull pottery, but they are marked made in England. And I paid $2 for the 4. I'm going to price them at about $30. They're really interesting and unique. So I'm going to try that. We'll see. And speaking of Hull, here's a Hull crock. I picked this up at a thrift store. Actually, I got 2 of them, and they were marked down from $4 to $2. And there's the Hull mark right there, H-A-L-L. They were known for this heavy pottery. In fact, I think they developed this particular glaze that doesn't craze, and they made pieces like this for the home and for restaurants. Picked up this grater because I love graters, and this one I think is very unique. I paid $4 for it, which is a lot of money for me, but I really liked it. And I think it will sell for, I'm gonna price it at 18, I think. Little wooden duck, gonna wax him, and he was 50 cents. Selling for maybe $10. This was from the free box at the Greenwich Flea Market. I am so in love with this. It's marked Troy. I live in the Tri-City area, Albany, Schenectady, and Troy. Love how pointy it is, and the color of the wood, everything. Just think that's great. These sell for about $20. I also sometimes line them with pine garland right here and put a candle in the hole and sell them at Christmas time for about $25. I just picked this up yesterday. It's a crate, like a mini crate. It's gonna be great for display. It was $5. And at the same place, this was from the Tops Furniture, which is in Fort Edward, New York. And what I went for was these rusty stars. So these larger ones are 2 for $1. And then they sell these little ones 5 for $1. And I like to stock up on them and use them for projects. You can use them at Christmas time for the tops of trees. You can use them to decorate signs, put a star on either end, or a hanging rack, that sort of thing. Picked up this red cabin plate. This is called Welcome Home, and it's by Meakin. Meakin also made that ironstone platter that I showed you. This is probably from like the 1950s or 60s, but it's got a nice farmhouse style. I have a price guide on my blog for transfer ware, which is what this piece is, and I have an article for my blog planned on transfer ware. I'll let you know when that happens. I have a lot of farmhouse today. Here is a really fantastic aqua bottle. It has this almost orange rind texture, and that is the whittle marks, I believe, from the mold that it would have been blown into. It has a very sharp pontil mark on the bottom, so that's how I know it's hand blown into a handmade mold. And it was $1. I don't know how much it's worth. I'm gonna say at least 10, 12, 20, something like that. I will report back on the value. I always pick up canning jar covers. I paid $1 for each of those. They're zinc, glass-lined zinc lids for vintage and antique canning jars. This is one of my favorite finds. $2. Look at that clapper in there. Isn't that interesting? And a friend of mine on Instagram, where I had shown a picture of this right after I bought it, actually a video of it, she said it's a cowbell. It's kind of heavy, and usually cowbells are flat, but she's from Indiana, so I guess she knows. I will price that at about $25, something like that. Enamelware pan was $2. That's worth about 10. 2 tins. This one was free. I got it from the same free box as the shoe last. I don't think I said this is a shoe last or a shoe form. That's what that's called. And this tin is for Denison's paper fasteners. It's worth about $3 or $4, and I paid $2 for this tin. I really love this brown color. This is snowproof waterproofing. So that's some kind of wax for leather, boots, that sort of thing. Picked up these 2 plates. They're marked oven serve. I have sold pie plates and other serving sort of dishes in this style and under the oven serve name, but this is the first time I've had plates. They were 50 cents each, and they're in like perfect, seems like unused condition. I will price them at about $8 or $10 each. Pine oleum, I'm guessing that's, well, it's probably a medicine because it's a small bottle. I was gonna say cleanser because of the pine, and that's a nice molded bottle in perfect condition. That was 50 cents. A chopper, that was $1, and I'm gonna test this. I meant to test it on camera, but I'm gonna test to see if that is Bakelite. Picked up these metal stars for 10 cents each. Great country look. And the last find I'm gonna share today are these 2 berry baskets because look at the color on them. I love baskets of all kinds. And that's my finds for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. I hope you will come over and visit me at Adirondack Girl at Heart. I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, happy hunting.